So what have I pulled up here? This is the HEX chart, full historical chart. So you can find this on uniswap.vision or uniswap.hex.vision. This takes you back all the way from early December of 2019 all the way to today. And I love this chart because the V2 chart obviously only starts around here. This really shows you everything. This curve I have here is the 50-week moving average. And we'll talk about the regression rainbow in a little bit, because I know that's like a lot of people are asking you, like, has the line broken? Like, what's the deal with there? But this is just another curve you can look at, because historically it was like we wicked beneath it on big payday, but it seemed to be support more or less. And you see this on Bitcoin too. I'm not going to pull up the Bitcoin chart, but you can pull this up for yourself at home. And Bitcoin likes to bounce off of the 50-week. Obviously, it's comparing two different coins, but the 50-week moving average is a long-term moving average. What is that, like 350 days? So you could also, interpret it as like a yearly moving average. So that's just one curve we can look at. Pulling up the regression rainbow, we are actually beneath red, and this has happened before. Okay, so just so you guys don't panic, and I can illustrate here that we've gone 15% beneath, and this is on daily closes, right? This doesn't take into account hourly wicks. So we've gone beneath it. So it's not like this hasn't happened before. We're actually at the same level, funny enough, 15% beneath red on January 5th, 2020. You guys remember that date. We're 14% beneath the red line now. So for now, we'll leave that chart and look at another chart, the lifetime ROI before staking. So this is just purely price appreciation. The reason I like this chart is because this ceiling function I applied to it, it flattens out whenever we don't see an all-time high for a while. And the longest period of time we've gone without seeing an all-time high is about 150, 160 days, which is like 5 months. And so this isn't the longest period of time before we've seen an all-time high, right? We're only like 80 days in. So
we still have some room.
Yeah, we have plenty of room to match, historical performance. And I guess we'll kind of wrap up with this HEX versus ETH versus BTC chart to kind of touch on what Steph was saying earlier, how at this point in time, 2 years into launch, Bitcoin was, it had its rally, but it wasn't where HEX is at now, right? At this little snapshot right here, HEX is up 321x from launch. 2 years in, ETH was about 117x up from launch, and Bitcoin was about 75x from launch. Those numbers might be a bit small for you guys, but HEX 321, ETH 117, Bitcoin about 76. And this is X's from launch.
This is the Uniswap version 1 chart. At least we can see some historical correction over the time. And yeah, I was just updating my chart. You're right, like 75, 73%. I'm not really sure at the moment, like around 75%. But just for you guys, we had some dips around 70%. We had also minus 86% in the beginning, around 80% the first dip here. So it is quite normal. And we know this crypto can correct like around 90 or 85% up to 90%, but we are still good. We are still going on this random line up and to the right. So
knowing that over time, long term, if you stake long and strong, we're going to go back there and beyond. So I just want to remind everybody to have that word of wisdom, to understand this is truly, like Richard says all the time, those are the opportunities. Because soon, like Steph said, when we go on PulseChain and everything accelerates, same people are going to be complaining about, oh, it's too expensive, it's this and that, when this was the opportunity, this was the time to accumulate. And on top of that, you haven't even got your copy yet, and you can take advantage of that. And potentially with the Pulse Swap or whatever the name end up being, and if you sacrifice HEX and you're able to buy when it's low, understand those value proposition. That's number one. Number two, word of wisdom. There's also a big event that happened over the weekend, elephant in the room. Bitcoin had a little micro crash. A lot of people got liquidated. Remember what liquidation means. Those people are out of the game. They're no longer going to be able to re-enter. And HEX users were unaffected. This is why, right, we call it staker app, not trader app, because our number one thing is to help people stay in the game, because long term they will win. Long term, like Hardo said earlier, if you stake, you don't have to worry. If you stake, everything works just business as usual. So please keep those things in perspective and understand that at least you're not out there gambling, you're not out there getting wrecked, margin trading, all of that stuff. and you can bring your family and friends to something that is safe, especially when they're looking out for the long term. So those are just a couple of word of wisdom I just want to remind everybody, because there's a lot of that happened over the weekend. Unfortunately, Hexicans are sheltered from that.